the end of this recording.
Okay. Doing it this whole time.
Hello and good evening. My name is Amanda Vantine. I've got my lovely co-host here, Aaron Tornberg, and our special guest, Taina Rentas. And this is One Broadway Collaborative.
Yes. Well, we actually are a One Broadway collaboration, is what we're calling what Taina and I are doing. So Taina is the guest, so to speak, tonight, and I'm sort of her support.
Okay.
So we were going to start with a song, and then we can get into the discussion.
Sounds good.
Okay. Ready, Taina? Mm-hmm. You want to talk about the song from the beginning?
The first song we're going to perform for you guys is called Goals, and it's about exactly that. Living in my city, I see a lot of people who have so much talent, but not a lot of people like to support each other or, encourage each other to continue doing what they're doing. It kind of seems more like a competition. So with realizing that, it made me think about what people really want in life. Like, what are your goals? What are you doing to achieve them? Are you supporting others who are supporting you, or are you just a lone wolf? And basically the song is about just that. That's cool.
All right.
Tell me all about your future and your plans. If you have a dream, you gotta shape it in your hands. Like a ball of clay, the world is bound to break and bend. So follow your vision, show everyone you can. Make it out the dark, set fire to the evil. Live your life to right and maybe make a sequel. Other people follow who they wanna be like. So be someone who does right, just be someone who does right. Looking around, all I see are people who don't care to chase their dreams. It's as if they're giving up on faith, threw their dreams away just to waste the day, trying to make a name for themselves without knowing the path they're on doesn't end, it keeps going further away from the place that they're hoping they'll reach someday. Will they reach someday? Tell me all about your future and your plans. If you have a dream, you gotta shape it in your hands. Like a ball of clay, the world is bound to break and bend. So follow your vision, show everyone you can. Make it out the dark, set fire to the evil. Live your life to right and maybe make a sequel. Other people follow who they wanna be like. So be someone who does right, just be someone who does right. I don't wanna live a life that feels broken. I don't wanna walk on a path that's paved golden. Singing on a stage, saving lives and getting paid. Never have my family worry about a damn thing. Happiness for me will come easy. As long as I keep my head up, I'll see clearly. Tell me all about your future and your plans. If you have a dream, you gotta shape it in your hands. Like a ball of clay, the world is bound to break and bend. So follow your vision, show everyone you can. Make it out the dark, set fire to the evil. Live your life to right and maybe make a sequel. Other people follow who they wanna be like. So be someone who does right, just be someone who does right. Just be someone who does right, just be someone who does right. Just be someone who does right, just be someone who does right. Just be someone who does right, just be someone who does right.
Woo! That That's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's a great song. I love a song that has such an uplifting message and not in a corny way at all. It's so real. It's so authentic. You clearly are passionate about what you're singing about. So that's a great song. Very cool. Is that off of an album that you have?
No, this one's actually a single.
Okay.
But I was, like I said, I was inspired by everybody around me. Again, like growing up in the city is full of creativity. It's kind of hard to pop out since there's so much. So I like my music to be based around my experiences or things that I see, because my goal is to relate with anybody listening.
Absolutely. And I feel like that's the song that you could relate to anybody listening, because everyone has things they aspire to do, to be, to act like. So having some sort of motivational, it's like kind of like a motivational anthem. It's really, really good. So tell us about yourself. You grew up in Lawrence.
Yes, born and raised here.
Lovely.
I'm 20 years old.
Nice. What got you into music? What's your musical upbringing? Anybody in your family?
So I was singing before I could speak as a child. I was humming like the McDonald's jingle, like the TV would go ba da ba ba ba, and I'd go ah lo lo lo, because I couldn't talk yet. And also my dad really encouraged my singing as well. Because like when I was younger and I wanted my bottle, if I wanted to eat, my dad would be like, nope, you have to sing. And I would be sucking my thumb so angry, and I'd be like, and I'd run away, but then I'd come back later and I'll be like, Dad, I want Baba, and sing for him. So like, my parents were very encouraging. Also, my household, we played such a variety of different types of music.
That's
so
amazing.
I was exposed to different genres at an early age.
Yeah, which I feel like is really key too, because it's a versatile. I listen to a lot of your music, and like it's very versatile. It's very genre bending in a way that you can tell it comes from a place where you listen to pretty much anything and you can make something out of it. So it's very, very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us about what you've got going on right now. What are you doing in the community? Who are you working with? Are you working on an album? Just tell us about your music this day.
Well, right now I'm working on 2 separate EPs.
Okay.
One of the EPs is a folk album, because me and Aaron will go to these different folk meetings. There's something called NERFA. Which is
tell
New
us
England.
about that, because I heard you mention that earlier and I wanted to ask, and I was like, no, I'll save it for the show. What is that?
So, would you like to explain?
Well, NERFA is Northeast Regional Folk Alliance. It's based on Folk Alliance International. It's a folk music and dance organization.
Wow.
There's regional groups that are affiliated with Folk Alliance International. One of them is NERFA, the New England region. So Northeastern Regional Folk Alliance. And then we also went to Southeast Regional Folk Alliance, which is SURFA. And that's down in North Carolina this year.
Okay.
And there are others all over the country. Our budget is not really such that we can go to the West Coast, but we would if we could.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's the main one is in Kansas City.
Okay.
Usually happens in February. But NERFA is going to be in November.
Okay.
And
locally, where in New England?
It's New Jersey,
Okay.
Asbury Park,
Okay.
which is cool because we get to go to the Stone Pony,
Yeah.
which is Bruce Springsteen's home bar,
Yep.
where he would do his gigs. So I got Bruce stuff everywhere.
Yep. Oh, I'm sure.
And there's also a lot of variety in the kinds of music you see at SURFA and NERFA.
That was my next question, is what would you see if you were to go to one of those? Is
it's
it
a lot
folk
of-
music? It's a mix. There's dance as well. That's
It's-
kind of a different factor.
Yeah, like it's very different. I going there, it was way different than I expected. I was afraid because I'm like, oh, I didn't even understand what folk was.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a specific genre itself, but folk
Yeah.
means for the folks.
Yeah.
So their genres range from anything from rock to pop.
I had the same thought process. I'm like, oh, folk music, but it sounds like it's so much broader than that.
Yes.
Well, there's a couple of schools of thought on it, and one is there was something called the folk revival in the 50s and 60s, really the 60s, where you had all these folk artists in the early 60s who were popping up and becoming huge. And so the folk revival was like, now everybody loves folk music.
Yeah.
And that happened for a short time. And then, rock sort of took back over. Took back over, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, folk has always been around. That's the thing, is folk music means music of people singing in the Appalachians, and music of urban stuff like hip hop, rap, and other kinds of beat poetry and things like that.
Seems like
it
it
can all
comes
be
from
folk.
organic experience. Like if you have something that you're passionate about or that you can write about in a way and make it, like you said, relatable, that seems folk. Like it's kind of like something everyone can relate to and sing along with, depending on what genre, it doesn't matter.
I think that's a perfect description, because one of the things that we also do at these events as well is we'll perform with random people. We'll just sit all together and just play what we feel.
I love that, yeah.
And it's super fun, because then you see a bunch of random people just start to jump in with their instruments. And it's really makes you realize that we live different lives, but we're all living out the same stories.
Yeah.
Like it's just completely different places. We look different, but we have the same pain, or we have the same love, and the same joy for life.
Everyone's experiencing that same spectrum of human emotion. So how you are able to convey that is one thing, but everyone can relate on that level.
Right.
So that sounds really fun. I want to go.
Yes, you should.
That sounds so cool.
But the other thing is that folk music is communal.
Absolutely.
And
I get
when
that energy.
when you see folk music, I mean, folk music is like people, sitting on their front porch playing, and then their neighbors come over.
Yeah.
It's not glitzy. It's not like typically I'm going to stand on a stage for millions of people.
Or with a giant pedal board of effects.
Right.
And yeah.
Usually it's a fairly modest audience. It's supposed
Which feels
to be
raw. It
right.
feels very like in the moment and genuine. Everyone's just expressing themselves.
And it's intimate.
Yeah.
So like One Broadway is really designed for intimate shows. We only have 50 seats. That's a good thing, I think. Obviously, the more seats you have, the more money you make and all that, but you lose the feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go to a concert in a stadium, you see it on a big screen.
The artist is like this big, really far away, and you're watching, an LED
and they're
screen.
charging you $1,000 a ticket or whatever ridiculous amount it is now. Whereas I'm more like interested in house concerts or local clubs.
Yes.
And there aren't enough of them because it's hard to make money.
Yeah.
It's hard to actually keep it going.
Yep.
And so, but it's so rewarding to the people involved.
Yeah.
And that's really what draws me to it. So even though I don't have big audiences, I'm hoping that we can at least get a supportive enough community to come in and just participate.
Yeah.
And everybody sing. That's the idea. Pete Seeger is one of the original folk musicians. He was very instrumental in bringing folk music alive. But he was huge in I think it was the 30s or 40s. He had a group called the Weavers, and the Weavers were they were just a fantastically popular group. You know the song "Goodnight Irene"? Yeah. They wrote it. It was like on the charts for years.
Yep.
And "Goodnight Irene" was written by Leadbelly. They didn't write it. They arranged it in such a way that white audiences could handle it.
Yeah.
But it's "Goodnight Irene" was it's actually it's kind of a dark song. I mean, Huddy Ledbetter wrote it, Leadbelly, and he writes some very dark stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, because he lived a hard life.
Yeah.
But that sort of it was sort of made into this popular genre, but at the same time, then you take away some of the instrumentation in the 60s and the 50s, it started to get more raw, where it was just a guitar.
Yep.
And then the singer-songwriters in the 70s.
Yep.
So that's kind of where NERFA and SERFA sort of centered themselves around, is more the singer-songwriter, but also there's a lot of traditional music lovers.
Yep.
And, like for Lawrence, a lot of the stuff could be Spanish. And I know there's a bunch of genres that could be considered folk. Bachata is one that I've become familiar with. And that is a street music. It's like blues in theme. So blues is like I lost my baby, I lost my dog, which then sort of merged with country, and it became the same kind of thing. It's just country had a different flavor. Bachata is Spanish style. Yep. But it's in Spanish and says I lost my dog and I lost my love. And, it's the same themes. Yep. It's just it's Spanish blues. Is it Dominican or Puerto Rican? I think bachata is Dominican. But
it's got the flair on it that sets it apart a little bit.
Yeah, but it's a great style, and there's other styles. There's Puerto Rican music for a lot of the people in Lawrence who are Puerto Rican. I mean, and then you have that influencing Lin-Manuel Miranda too. I mean, so it's all folk music to me.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Because it's all about bringing together people's influences.
I love the aspect of community that it does bring. Because even people who think that they're not musical will find themselves singing along, and before you know it, they feel like they're part of the community, and everyone gets to share in that together in whatever creation or expression it is. So that's really cool. I love that. You guys are doing a lot of community building too. It's really great for the area and just for people to realize that there's like-minded people in the area that they can connect with, make music with, talk with, work with, whatever. It kind of gives people hope to have something that they look forward to, like something here at One Broadway, or something that they know they're going to see friendly faces, hear good music, and maybe take something away from it too that they didn't think they were going to originally. So that's so cool.
And we, Taina and I met at One Broadway because her manager, who's in the booth there, Joshua, he actually he brought Taina to play at one of the events that was held there.
Yep.
We were doing some hip hop events at the time, which we're not doing as much of anymore because they are a little more wild than I can handle.
Yeah.
And I've got a much more intimate venue now.
Yeah.
So what we did was, at some point, I don't think it was the first time you played. The first time you played, you just played. And then later, we did it again, but I actually learned one of her pieces and played it. And I clicked right away with that. I thought we did great.
That was super fun.
I watched a video on YouTube today. Someone's on a cajon. There's a gentleman on a cajon. You're on guitar and you're in the middle singing. Where was that? Was that something on One Broadway, or was that?
That was in North Carolina for
Oh,
Surfa.
it was. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, yeah, it's great. I love the cajon too. It adds so much. I feel like you guys' duo sounds great, and then you just add a light tapping on the cajon. It really elevates it. So.
Well, unfortunately,
cool.
John couldn't make it tonight. But
I would have gladly scooched over. Come on, man.
Well, but yeah, it was a lot of fun to have him at NERFA and Surfa, and we got pulled in to record in the Fishman booth.
Epic.
Which was fun.
Yeah, I'm sure. You have experience recording a little bit. We were talking earlier, and you said you kind of have some. So where did that start? How did that play?
When I first started recording at all, I was in high school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And in high school, there was a class I was taking. It was media production, which media production was like Photoshop, color editing, editing color, lighting, all that other stuff. But I liked it, but it wasn't my passion. And I let my teacher know. I was like, I make music. I'm a singer. I want to sing. And he's like, oh, there's a microphone in the back. And there's GarageBand on the
mess around with it?
Yeah, you want to go mess around with it. And it kind of just sparked from there. It definitely encouraged me to be more confident with sharing my voice with other people.
Yeah. Which takes a lot. It puts you in a vulnerable spot to be able to and your songs are very authentic and seem very genuine. So you're basically being like, this is me. If you don't like it, sorry. It's like having the confidence to just know that you write music for you.
And that was just when I started recording.
Yep.
And I got graded throughout the year, because I took the class.
That's such a good experience.
Yeah,
too.
I took the class twice because there was 3 times because there's different levels.
Okay.
And every time I went back, my teachers would be like, go to the back, do your thing.
Yep.
But the challenging part was showing through the week, I had to create a song. So by the end of the week, I had to show my class and
it's like a songwriting challenge.
Yeah.
How did you find that? Was that nerve-wracking at all? Did it help you kind of nail down a writing process?
It really boosted my confidence.
Yeah.
Because again, I wasn't used to showing people what I wrote or what I recorded at all.
Yep.
And so when I actually showcased it and people were like, "Oh, that's you."
So good. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I'm like, "Okay, I like this. I like this. This make me feel nice." But and then later on, I joined into this nonprofit called Movement City. It's based in Lawrence.
Yep.
Where I met one of my mentors, Melix, and he was my teacher for teaching me how to record in the booth, how to add effects on my vocals, all that fun stuff.
Which is the nitty gritty that you don't know that you need to know until you know how to do it, and you hear how much it affects the sound and how good and like clean the finished product is, and you're so lucky that you know how. That's a whole nother process in and of itself besides the actual songwriting and the singing. Being able to do all of that in the booth and be like, I made this, like me, I did it all. That's really cool.
It's super fun too. Like and it's also important to learn how to use your voice as well, because your voice will sound different with different engineers working with you.
Yeah.
You know, you have to practice on your own. Like if anybody's an artist and you want to start recording music, start recording on your own first, because you need to learn your own voice before you go to anybody else, because different engineers are going to make your voice sound different, and you need to be strict. Yeah. Because you know yourself better than.
Yeah, I recorded in high school with a producer, and he had a very specific sound that he thought I sounded good for, and I had a very specific direction that I was going with my music, and I did feel like I would leave the booth sometimes and be like, I don't like that. I don't like how that sounds. That's not me. And I almost am grateful for that situation, because it taught me the courage to be like, no, I want it to sound like this is what I'm going for. And he'd be like, all right, fine. Like, he wasn't fighting me on it, but it's just like having the courage to be like, I wrote the song, I had a vision in my head, I want to see it through, and having the confidence to be like, I know that what I'm making is the right decision for me, you know? So it's really cool. Yeah.
It's definitely an industry where you have to be very headstrong.
Yeah.
And know your stuff.
Yeah. Are you that type of person, or are you kind of learning the confidence as you go? I feel like I'm a very shy person and very non-confrontational, so for me it was a little bit of a challenge to learn how to be like, I don't like that.
Like, I'm learning, also with the confidence of being in front of people still. Yeah. I kind of feel like, it sort of feels like I become a different person when I go on stage. Yeah. Very much so, because like, I'm super shy. Like, I'm such a homebody. I don't go out. Yeah. Like, my friends, they ask me, hey, you want to go out? I'm like, I'm going to stay at the house today. Yeah. But as soon as it's time to perform, it's like I'm confident and I'm having fun and I'm just going, and then I'm drained for the next 3 weeks. And do not call me. Do not look for me. Overload. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell that you get into this mode when you sing, because even just the do a performance, you're like moving with your hands and moving your body, and you can tell you like feel the music. So it's really cool. It's better than getting up there and being shy. It's like, you know what? I like this. I wrote it and I'm proud of it. Let me showcase that. Right. So, and I feel like you do have to put up a wall sometimes between like who you are outside and at work and who you are when you get up on the stage, and you're like, it's part of a performance. If you want it to come across a certain way, then your body language matters, where you're looking matters, all of that plays in. So it's like, if you have that in your mind, you're like, let go of those nerves to just make sure it comes out how you want, or at least to the best of your ability. I feel like you'll be happier in the end than if you got up there and were like shy, you know what I mean? I'm still learning that, honestly. Right. When I perform, I use my, like, the songs that I wrote, I still have to look at the music, and I feel like that is something that I use so I don't have to look at the eyes of people.
You know what might be easier? Because this is how it worked for me. I felt way more confident. Like, I feel way more confident when I'm performing in front of a stage of a lot of people versus a few.
Yes.
Because like, when it's a few, I'm focused on everybody's facial expressions. How are you feeling? Are you smiling?
Every single one of you. Yeah.
Right. Like, I know you. Don't give me that side eye, because I will stop singing and cry. Yeah. But when it's a group, like when it's a large audience, like, I'm all over the place. I'm too busy doing whatever I'm doing to, you know, spend time focusing and stressing on what people think of what I'm doing.
Yeah, even performing here, One Broadway, it's a small, you know, I'd rather perform at a bar where half the people are drunk and not listening, and I just kind of let go and have fun, versus here, everyone came to hear what you were saying. So like, everyone sits down and they're like, no, go ahead. And I'm like, you know, it's a little nerve-wracking. So having that, being able to put up that wall and be like, you know what, regardless of what anyone thinks, I'm happy to be doing this, which clearly it seems like you have a passion for music, so that's not in question. That's really cool. Back to the high school and the writing and everything, what is your songwriting process? Because I love to ask people, everybody's is so different. The lyrics come first, music comes first. What's the process?
I don't really have a specific process. It's a little bit all over the place. I started writing back in middle school as to cope with a lot of stress that I was dealing with.
Healthy coping mechanism, though. Yeah. Working out for you now.
Right. So I started writing poetry, and I've always sang. Yeah. So I wrote a poem, and I found the beat off YouTube. Yep. Just because why not? And I just started singing the poem that I wrote, like with the rhythm, and I was like, okay, this works. Yeah. And it kind of just grew from there. Yeah. But sometimes I'll find the beat first and then write to it. Sometimes I'll write something and then find the beat that matches it.
Whatever inspires.
Or sometimes I'll do both. I'll have half of a beat. I'll write and complete the whole song and be like, oh, now I need this to happen.
Yeah.
It's a little bit all over the place.
Feels very versatile though, very flexible.
Yeah.
Because if it inspires you, something's gonna happen. No matter what it is.
And for me too, like it kind of depends on each genre as well.
Yep.
So let's say it's more of an R&B song. Like if I want to rap a little bit, I need to have a beat first.
Yeah.
But if it's more of like a poetic singing ballad type song, I can write the poem first.
Yep.
And sometimes you're angry like Taylor Swift and you write something like Crush, which we should play now.
Yeah, let's hear it.
You mean not Crush?
Not Crush?
Yeah.
Not Your Friends?
Not Your Friends.
Oh, we're doing Not Your Friends.
This one's fun. Not Your Friends.
So that transition didn't work, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We still want to hear it though.
But this one, this song was super fun to write. This is a completely different type of creative process, like a creative approach that I took to it.
Yeah.
I was in freshman year of college and I was taking my English class and I found out that my professor's favorite band was the Beatles.
Okay.
And we were also reading The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe, which I am obsessed with dark things, dark movies, stories. I love it all. I love the gory. Give it to me.
Yes.
You know? And so I was very inspired by the story.
Yeah.
And then she showed us Eleanor Rigby, the song, to
so
try
your brain went.
Yes, in the most amazing way possible too. I was in my room. I found the beat off YouTube, and I just started writing to it because it was like a little angry song.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Ooh, I'm inspired by the book." So that was my goal, and I wrote it. And then it came time to write the chorus, and then out of nowhere, I just started singing Eleanor Rigby, and it just fit perfect.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is great.
Things happen for a reason. Yeah.
Right. And I ended up showing my professor, and I got an extra A+ grade. Yeah, she removed one of my scores from one of my tests. It was an 80, but it was my lowest. Yeah. And she just took that off, and I was like, thank you. You know, music works.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, this one was a fun song. So, ready?
Ready?
Watching from a distance, planning your demise. They are not your friends, they are not your kind. Something evil's lurking, skin colder than ice. Feel it in your bones, and they pull out the knife. Done on midnight, it's then that you will see the figures watching closely, take notes on everything. You call them your friends, but I see enemies. People that will do just anything, know what you do. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Now they may call you cocky and they may call you cold for locking up your gold. It's yours, not theirs to hold. First they'll act all friendly, then grab you by your throat. Demand you give them what's theirs, what they all stood there for. When the clock strikes midnight, it's then that you will see the bloody hands approaching, leave marks on everything. Still call them your friends, but I see enemies. People that will do just anything for what they need. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Ah, look at all the lonely people. You're wasting your precious time away, spending it with people who don't care about your pain. They wanna hurt you, they wanna take your strength away. Look at all the lonely people. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Oh, ah, look at all the lonely people. Watching from a distance, planning your demise. They are not your friends, they are not your kind. Something evil's lurking, skin colder than ice. Feel it in your bones when they pull out the knife.
Woo! Oh, I love that. It's great.
So fun.
It really, you describing the song before playing it, I feel like that is the perfect blend of worlds. It really does. That's great. I love Edgar Allan Poe and the Beatles, actually. So it's a great mashup. That's cool.
I know. It's like they were friends in a past life. They have to be.
Totally.
How else would this happen? But yeah, that one was super fun to write, and I thought like mostly that it was a new challenge for me.
Yeah.
Especially, I used to read a lot when I was younger, and I kind of stopped because I grew out of it. Like, you know, you get distracted with life and other things, and you lose joy for reading. But
and
during
your phone and
writing, everything, electronics, everything comes in. But my teacher, she really encouraged me to get into reading again. She gave me some passages that I was going to read for my next English class that I had to take. So I was ahead anyway. But I also found the love of reading again. So I've been reading a lot since.
Same. As an adult, I have found, like, over the last, like, 3 or 4 years, I've been, like, addicted to books again. And I used to be as a kid and stopped. And I feel like it has helped my poetry a lot. It really does. No matter what I'm reading, it inspires me, and then I'll have a weird dream because of the book I was reading before bed, and I'll wake up and write a song about the weird dream, and it's just like everything kind of commingles in a way. It's like what you put in, you will literally get out as well, whatever media you absorb. So
and
really
a lot
cool.
of it's yourself too. Like you create the best music and the best messages when you do with them right as you feel it. You know, you have to experience it and then do it right away.
I'm sure you've had it before where you think of an idea and you're like, I'll drop that down, and then you don't, and then it's gone forever.
I hate when it happens. I get so frustrated, and I'll sit there for hours really like trying to remember, what was I doing? I walked downstairs. Let me try walking downstairs.
Walking up and down the stairs over and over.
Yes. Retracing my steps really.
What I'll do is get out the voice memos on my phone and be like, and be like, okay, cool. I'll remember what I wanted to do with that later, and then I'll listen back and be like, oh yeah, exactly. See, that's why I recorded it, because I know. But that's awesome. How often do you write? Do you find it comes in waves, or you always
I write
just
every day.
Wow. Okay, so that's why you're songwriting.
Even if it's one sentence, I write every day. Like, it doesn't matter what it's about. It could be about how I'm feeling. It could be about something I saw today. It could be about a person that I was talking to or something I saw outside. Like, it really doesn't matter. But my goal is to write something at least every day.
That's a great practice to have. I'm sure it helps too.
Yeah, like it helps me realize what I'm going through myself, because sometimes you don't even know.
Self-awareness.
Like, you think you're having a great day, and then the one sentence I ended up writing is that I felt like I tripped outside. I'm like, wow, I'm drawn to the negative. But then I'll try to do something like that.
Yeah, it's almost like a spiritual practice, like the self-awareness of just like making yourself a better person every day because you're paying attention to what you think and what you do and how you act and stuff. That's great.
Also, another thing that I do as well is that I play this game with my friends. And the game is they give me a word, and the words have nothing to do with each other.
I love it already.
They could be like water bottle, lamp, wall, and I'll have to write a song about it.
Oh,
yes, and
that's a great writing practice challenge.
Yes, and I love it because my friends know, like, I'll just text them, give me a word, and they already know what I'm up to, and they're like, okay,
and they'll think the weirdest thing they can just to throw you off.
Yes, tambourine. They've given me a word. I actually wrote a song about like a child's tambourine that got lost. And that was like one of my first songs that I had written.
It sounds like a folk song.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song. You don't know that song? Oh, you didn't even know. There is a Tambourine Man song.
That's cool.
That's Bob Dylan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can hear his voice in my head singing it.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man.
That's actually something I heard. If you're ever, my friend of mine, Brittany, said if you're ever in a bad mood, take one of your favorite songs and sing it like Bob Dylan or sing it like Shakira. It's a good vocal practice, and you sound so dumb. And then at the end, you're like, okay,
you know
that made my mood better. Yeah.
One of my favorite albums is Bob Dylan's Christmas album. Because he sings all the Christmas songs, but he sings them like Bob Dylan.
He's like, jingle bells, jingle bells.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus. Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah.
So, but somehow it's really entertaining to listen to.
Oh, I'm not turning it off.
Yeah, I loved it.
I'm laughing at it a little bit, but I'm not turning it off.
No, he actually sounds good, and his band behind him is great. And it's just, it's the best Christmas album for when I don't really want to go to my Christmas stuff. So
gotta get in the spirit.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna try to adopt that writing every day, even if it's one sentence. Do you find that you can really keep up with it? Is it almost motivating at times, depending on what your day was like, just to get down? I feel like it's like journaling taken to the next level because you're using that to move towards some sort of other creative expression like poetry or songwriting or lyricism or whatever. So
it's really helpful just to keep your mind flowing, keep the creativity, keep the creative juices coming out.
No writer's block here.
Right. That's one thing I can say.
Yes.
While doing it and staying committed, I haven't had writer's block.
I'm in a dry spell. I haven't written a song in a long time. I'm not kidding. I'm going to start writing a sentence every day starting tomorrow and just see how it goes. Yeah, because I go through waves where I'll like bang out 5 songs in a month and be like in love with it, and then for like 3 months I like don't write anything that I like. Do you have that where you write stuff you don't like, or is it everything just a take it as they come learning lesson?
I definitely have written a lot of things I don't like.
You're like, girl, please.
Yeah, a lot of things I don't like. Also, partially because like I have to make songs to put out that maybe I didn't want to, but I did.
Do you find that where if I'm not writing from a true place of inspiration, I cannot write? If I'm trying to write a song about something and it's at all forced, it's not happening. It's just not. Some people can crank, like Bob Dylan, I'm sure could crank out a song about my left shoe and it would sound fantastic, but it's like unless I like experienced it emotionally or like went through something or know someone that told me a story about something, I have to have some sort of footing in the idea if I'm going to try.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. I refuse. Yeah. I refuse to write anything about anything that I haven't like experienced or seen.
Because the way you do it keeps it fun and it keeps it relevant to your life and moving forward. So it's like, keep on it.
And you're going to get a better song.
Yeah. Yeah.
What type, like, if I give you a song where I didn't know what I was talking about, you're going to know I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the passion ain't there. Yeah, you would know. That's great, though. Do you play any instruments? Do you play with other people? Are you, like, in any collaborative efforts besides with Aaron?
No.
Okay.
I sing. I want to learn the piano.
I recommend you do. Time. It's the easiest instrument to learn, in my opinion, out of all the instruments, and I only know how to play 2, so I'm like, okay, all the instruments, just because all the keys are right in front of you, and they all repeat. So I feel like it's the easiest. When I first started songwriting, I didn't know how to play anything, and I really wanted to be able to support myself. So my grandmother gave me her piano, and I like started learning on that, and now now it's a crutch, and I just use it for everything. So I'm trying to learn guitar as well, but that's why I asked about those finger pick things, because I'm trying to learn how to strum, and it's not working out.
Well, it's louder, and I used to do it
so I can play the wrong note even louder than before. Lovely.
But when I started playing, I was song leading, which means I would sing with groups of people, often kids.
Yeah.
But you get up in the center of the room and you sing, and you have no mic.
Yeah.
So you have to sing really loud, first of all. So I learned how to project much more.
Yeah.
And in order for the guitar to be heard, picks help a lot.
Has to be resonant, yeah.
Yeah. So without the picks, you use your fingers. You can hear it, but it's much quieter.
Yep.
So with the picks, it's much clearer too.
Yep.
Because when you finger pick, if you're using just fingers and not the metal picks, then it's much softer. So that's loud. If I take off the picks, then it's you can hear it.
Still
but
lovely, but you can hear the twang that it gives it when you have them on. Yeah.
Yeah, it rings out each string.
Yep.
And same with strumming. When you strum with pick on, it's better, which is why most people use a pick.
Yep.
But some people like flat picking. I always learned to do finger picking.
Yeah. So. I feel like that would be easier for me because of piano. Having the right hand coordination, flat picking, it's not working out.
This is mostly pattern based. I mean, that's what finger picking is typically.
Yep.
I mean, you vary it, but it's pattern based.
Yep. Speaking of projection, have you ever taken vocal lessons of any kind? Are you self-taught?
I'm self-taught.
That's amazing. Good for you. Do you practice I know I like watch YouTube videos sometimes on like vocal shapes or vocal warm-ups. Do you do warm-ups? Do you practice every day, sing every day, drink tons of tea?
I drink tons of tea, but that's because I love tea.
Okay.
But yeah, I practice vocal exercises. I don't really like to follow videos. I get stressed out sometimes when I can't do something the way that it's expected, or like a video, it's showing you how to do something. You're not doing it right now. You're rewinding. No, I can't stand that. So I take pieces of it. So I do vocal slides. I'll sing up and down the scale. I'll do little patterns on my own. But I don't really like to follow
take what works, leave what doesn't kind of thing. Yeah, that's good. And it leads to less frustration, I'm sure, because you're like, you know what, I sing the way I sing. And that is true, like everyone's voice is different. So it's like if you were watching a video, somebody's voice may be capable of something that yours isn't. And that doesn't mean it's good or bad. It just means that like that's not for me. So yeah, maybe I should try that.
I'm also very tough too. So like I've met a couple of vocal coaches who are like, oh, like you should start doing this. And I'm just like, no.
Don't tell me how to sing.
Don't tell me how to sing. But I do need to get used to like getting used to like, you know, people giving you advice because they're not trying to criticize you. They're trying to help you or give you another strategy or a new way.
I think it's the same thing that you said about whoever's producing the music. The vocal teacher will do the same thing where it's like you have to find someone that hears your voice and loves it and wants to work on that and not make you sound. I feel like I took vocal lessons all through high school and I always felt like I was being forced to sing like a Broadway singer or like use my head voice a bunch, and I'm more of like a chest voice alto type of singer. And then I stopped taking vocal lessons, started taking them again like 2 years ago, and found someone that has a similar voice to mine, and he is like incredible. And I was like, wow, I really could stand for vocal lessons. He was teaching me all this stuff that was like helping me feel my lung capacity get bigger. And like I was actually feeling when my soft palate was up and when it was down. And I was like, all right, I'll give vocal lessons another shot. But I feel like it took me a while to find someone that jived with me and wanted to make my voice sound like it does and even better versus make it sound like something else. So that's cool. I'm sure there's somebody in the area. This area seems like it's got like it's just ripe with talented people.
Right. I'm sure there's hundreds of people in the city alone that would be more than happy to be like, hey, I'll teach you. But I need to work on that myself.
Yep. So you record all your own stuff, or do you go to a studio locally to have it?
I go to a studio.
You do? Okay, what's the studio?
There's Nowhere Studios.
Okay.
And then there's no name, but my friend Morel, he works with my team. He has a studio. We go to his, and then we also go to Brady's studio.
Okay.
When we're doing like our finalizations, we usually go to Brady's.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
there's nothing better than sitting on the couch listening to a song in its final stages and being like, that's a bop. I wrote that.
But I love being around people though.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I write my best, honestly, when I'm surrounded by lots of people. And it's so funny, like if it's just me, my manager, and an engineer in the room, it'll take me forever to write. Yeah. But let's say it's chaotic, like, you know, like my friends are in the studio, like my whole team is there and they're all talking chaotic. Yeah. I'm in the corner like doom, 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 writing everything that I need to.
Feeding on the energy, though. Yeah. It's that, like, loving, calming, grounding energy where you're feeling like your guard come down a little bit and you feel like, I'm having a good idea. I'll be right back. Doot, doot, doot. So that's awesome. Yeah, I feel like I actually write better in solitude. When I'm, like, completely alone in the middle of the woods, that's when I get real cathartic and just write whatever. But that's what's cool about writing and lyricism is everyone can write a song about the same message, but how that song came to be could be so different. Somebody could be on a train going into the city. Somebody could be in the studio in the middle of the woods by themselves. Like everybody kind of responds to music differently. I think that's what's cool about the folk. And now that you guys are talking about this, I'm generally interested in going because I feel like folk music and the way you're describing it too, which is folk, I feel like people get a certain connotation when you say that word. I'm talking about the broader. Just seems like such a fun community. It's like relating to the fact that everybody likes music. If you don't, you're a sociopath. Everyone's got a band, at least one that they like. Everyone has a way that they like to hear the music played. Everyone wants to feel included. Everyone likes to gather together, even there's no music involved, just to be with each other, express ideas, you know, back and forth. So it seems like a really fun little get together.
Well, it's interesting because singing as a group has really become a rare thing.
Yeah, totally.
But what people do is they'll go to their favorite band concert and they'll sing along.
Yeah.
That's sort of the group singing that we usually get.
Yeah.
But it's so much nicer if you get together with a group of people and you pick songs you all like and you just sing them.
Yep.
You don't have to be at a concert.
Yep.
You don't have to pay a fortune. You just hang out and have a barbecue.
Yeah.
You know, that's much more fun to me than going to a concert where it's, you know, too loud for anybody to hear me sing.
Yeah. Fighting for parking, overpaying, getting a beer spilled on you by the drunk guy next to you, and then going home disappointed.
But I spend all my time now at One Broadway in a small room where we really get to hear the music.
Yeah.
So it's much nicer. It's a nicer feel.
Yeah.
We don't have, beverages. We don't have, we have water. But
we definitely hydrate.
yeah, we hydrate. But, we don't have alcohol. We don't have food. So those distractions are gone, and you're really just here for the music. If you're not here for the music, you need to probably go somewhere else. And if that's what you want, that's fine. But One Broadway is more of a place to be introspective and listen to other people.
Yeah.
And hear them.
And community building, just supporting each other. I loved what you were talking about in the beginning of just like artists supporting other artists, no matter what your art is, your media is, just being supportive of other people going after their dream. Everyone has the right to try to make themselves happy and live a good life and do whatever is going to bring them joy. And if other people feel joy, great. And if not, at least you're following your passion and doing what you want to do. So I feel like this is a good place for that. And most people, if not every single person that I've ever met here, is supportive, friendly, will come up and talk to you after and be like, hey, I loved your music, like, you want to collab? It's immediately about how can we make this even cooler. So I
well,
love
it's for artists to come together. I mean, that's why I was really excited when Taina is the first artist from Lawrence that I didn't know that we ended up doing something.
Hometown hero.
Right. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And more people should do it. More people should do cross-cultural stuff. I mean, we call what we're doing, I don't know if I made it up, but I made it up in my own head. Whether anybody else did or not, I don't know. But I call it folk hop.
Yep.
Because it's like a mix of kind of hip-hop, R&B, and folk.
Yep.
Mostly that means it's acoustic rather than being electronic with the beat.
Yep.
But we have a cajon normally, and the cajon provides the beat.
Yep.
The guitar provides the chords. And we sing the song, and it can be done in front of a campfire.
Yep.
We don't need a microphone.
Yep.
And Taina actually does not need a microphone because she's got quite a voice.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's helpful too.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun to be able to do that, and I would like more of that to occur.
Yeah.
I'd like more people to come and be able to meet each other. We're trying. We're working on it.
Yeah, come on down, guys.
Yeah. We have open mic every Sunday 2 to 5, and anybody can come and anybody can play. And we don't judge. If it's your first day playing and you just want to try, go ahead.
This is the perfect crowd to try that out on.
So I moved to Lawrence because I liked the area. I liked the settings. I think it's a great city. It's got a lot of character. You got the canal, you got the waterfall, you got that awesome building with the clock tower that towers over everything. You got a building that's like 2 blocks long. It's just it's a huge building. I mean, it's just this town has so much history from Bread and Roses, and they have the Bread and Roses Festival here every year.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and so. I want people in Lawrence to be able to come to One Broadway and be able to have a place for art where they can express themselves and enjoy themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I live in an apartment building, and there's, I can't be slamming on guitars super loud or super late. My neighbors will complain. So if you live in an apartment, come on down here.
Right.
You can slam on your guitar for 3 hours.
Yes, at midnight.
Well.
Yes,
Aaron's like, I'll be home in bed by midnight. I don't know about
I'm not going to be here, but yeah. No, I mean, you can do, we can get loud. It's a small room, so there's a limit.
And you don't have to get that loud because it's
right.
dead quiet and everyone's there to listen
right.
to you. So if you just play at the volume you wish you could in your tiny apartment like I do,
right.
that's probably going to be fine.
Right.
So.
And so Taina and I have gone to these 2 conferences with a group of people, and it's been a lot of fun. And we should do more of that. Like people should get out and do music with others rather than just focus on your studio time.
Yep.
And that's also what One Broadway is for, is coming out, but also making connections that will take you farther.
Yep.
Taina is from Lawrence, and she has been to Black Mountain, North Carolina, and Asbury Park, New Jersey. for music.
Yep.
And you've toured other places. Where else did you go? You've been to a bunch, right?
Yeah, we've done.
Did you do New York?
Oh yeah, I've gone to New York. My song is played on the radio.
Oh, nice.
Boston.
I think I saw that. A YouTube short of the Boston. Yes. What station
Latinx.
was that? Yes. That's awesome.
It was super fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, I perform at a bunch of different things.
Yep.
You know, I just performed for my grandmother's. She's running for something for the state or whatever.
Oh, cool.
And I got to perform for her there.
Yeah.
So that was fun too. But yeah, like I do parties, anything,
Yeah.
anywhere I can.
You can find anywhere where people would be down to hear a couple songs. I feel like especially if it's not all the speakers and the
Right.
chords and you're wheeling stuff in out of a van. If you just come in with a guitar and a cajon and a good voice, people are like, oh yeah, pull up a chair, go ahead, you know.
Also
Even
with
if
the
it's-
diversity of music as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yep.
there's gonna be certain songs that I don't want to sing at a certain venue.
Yeah, having a flexible repertoire where you can kind of
Right.
tailor it to the people you're playing with, or you know what you're trying to go for, send as a message. So
Yeah.
that's awesome as an artist.
And
to be
language
able
can
to
be
do.
an issue with
Yeah.
some music. So
There's a song I wish I could have performed, but I can't.
not on public access cable, but yeah.
Not here.
But yeah, we've been having a lot of fun. But you know, our performance, some things I've learned from it, because you know, I perform a lot, but I'm performing solo. So what's been fun is having Taina to work off of. You know, we play a little bit sometimes, and you know, she does this thing where she go da da, and then I do the guitar da da. You know, and there's little things you get from that.
It's an energetic exchange almost, where it's like when you're vibing with someone musically, spiritually, even in conversation, you can feel that there's a push and pull between your thoughts and your body language and the way that even the music comes out like that. Yeah, that's really cool. And I feel like you can't develop that with everybody. I mean, you meet someone and sometimes you know right off the bat, it's like, I'm going to jive with that person. I like them. I get their energy. And then musically, to be able to like translate that is even cooler, because music, I'm definitely a little more of a particular person with music, and as I play more and more, I feel like so excited to play with other people, like hear different types of music. I used to just want to be like a singer-songwriter doing like Adele on a keyboard, and I feel like now I'm super into like bluegrass music and all the metal music, and I've really kind of opened up, and it makes me want to play with more people because there's so many options, because everybody plays something different, likes something different. So having that openness to be able to give somebody else a chance, and then if it works, it great. If not, you know, you learn something. So that's cool. I can tell you guys enjoy playing together.
Yeah,
You
also
can totally tell.
This isn't the first time that I've performed with other people.
Yep.
I actually was in bands
Yep.
before I became a solo artist.
Nice.
So it kind of like gives me that sense of comfort, reminds me where
Yep.
I started when it
Yep.
came to performing. Like I didn't perform by myself
Yep.
for the first time. Like,
Yeah.
I had a drummer, I had a guitarist, I had a bassist
Yep.
with me. So like bringing this back is bringing back those memories, reminding me of how I started and
Yep.
you know how much
Which is
fun I
cool
had.
because you have a band. I feel like sometimes, like I'm in a band right now, and I feel like sometimes I can hide in the band, and then having that, and then going solo, it's like, no, you're just as good as a solo artist. You know what I mean? You know who you are, and then if you were to get in another band again, you kind of have your footing, and you know how you like to write and who you want to be playing with, and like you kind of know yourself in a deeper way. So that's really cool.
There was some movie I saw in the '90s called That Thing You Do, and the drummer plays with an old blues guy, and he's playing for him. He's doing this great drum bit and playing with him. He's a keyboard blues guy, and he says the guy who he's playing with says, "You're good," and he says, "Bands come and go, but just keep playing," and that's the advice.
Yeah.
is Bands come and go,
Yep.
but you're you, and you keep playing, and you just play with anybody.
Bands will just continue to form and deform around you,
Right.
like planets orbiting the sun.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
unless you're the Rolling Stones, and for some reason they never break up, but
Loyalty.
they must really like each other.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Which is great. It's
If
hard to get
Did you
that.
ever tour or anything like that?
No, we didn't get to tour, but
Okay.
like we got to perform at a couple of places.
Yeah.
Like it was
I want to
basic,
tour so
but
bad. I've never toured.
the first time I performed on stage, like with the band,
Yeah.
it was in front of 400 people.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I went with the Methuen
Yeah.
YMCA Music Clubhouse.
Yep.
And so what happened was I had just started going the week before, and they had a band that was gonna go perform because they do something like every few years where they have like all the music clubhouses from the different YMCA's come together and they get to watch each other as a showcase at Berkeley.
Oh wow!
Yes,
that's awesome.
And so I got a phone call. Well, my parents got a phone call, and it was one of the staff at the music clubhouse, and they're like, "Hey, so in our band, the drummer who's also the singer broke his nose." But so we have a backup drummer, but we don't have a backup singer. Can your daughter come with us today? So as soon as I got out of school, like my dad's like, okay, so we're gonna wait in the parking lot because you're going to Boston. I'm like, what? And he's like, oh, they need you. Like,
do you know the music at this point?
I had to learn it in the car ride. So that the car ride, you know, it's like 40 minutes. Yeah, and it was Hitching a Ride by Green Day.
Oh my God.
And it was such a traumatic experience. Because I can't listen to the song now.
Yeah,
if I listen to it, I'm so triggered.
Yeah.
But it was fun because I got to know the band. That was the first band I ended up being a part of afterwards. And it was super fun. Like, and even though it wasn't the best, you know, I didn't perform as good as I wanted to, the crowd was still very interactive and they were very supportive.
Yeah.
And I knew I wasn't alone.
You can only do so much with 40 minutes, okay? You probably nailed it still.
I tried. Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
But it was super fun.
Yeah. And kind of broke you into that group environment playing, which is like now clearly you're still kind of doing that and finding different people that you like to play with and finding a way to involve yourself in community. So that's really awesome.
So back to the Taylor Swift song. This is the other one you did. Do you want to talk about it?
Oh yeah. Okay, so this song is called Crush, and this one is for my boyfriend. Oh my goodness. So I met him in college. Obviously in college you don't want to form a relationship. The whole point is to find yourself and like, you know, have fun and not be committed because life is just starting. And then here he comes. And he's the sweetest. And he treated me so well. And this song is basically me trying to digest my emotions and be like, am I really feeling this right now, or am I trying to trick myself? Yeah. And so the song is basically me just going through those emotions and having a conversation with myself, like, why do I feel like this? Yeah. Why now? Yeah. But it's true, I do feel like it. Ready?
Yeah.
Me take a minute to reflect on my decisions. I made some choices that I didn't really think about. Don't know, but it feels like I'm falling. Don't know why I run when you call me. Take a minute to reflect on my decisions. I made some choices that I didn't really think about. Don't know, but it feels like I'm falling. Don't know why I run when you call me. I think I might have a little crush. Oh, no one else knows how to make me blush. No, one little touch can make my heart explode to a million pieces. You already know. I see that you've been acting all kind, sir, making me wish that you were mine, sir. I can't escape from the games that you play. Got me wrapped round your finger and I am to blame. I told myself I wouldn't fall this hard, but your eyes in action showed me the stars. You stole my heart and I fell apart. So I hide my thoughts behind my eyes and hope they part. Let me take a minute to reflect on my decisions. I made some choices that I didn't really think about. Don't know, but it feels like I'm falling. Don't know why I run when you call me. Take a minute to reflect on my decisions. I've made some choices that I didn't really think about. Don't know, but it feels like I'm falling. Don't know why I run when you call me. Da-da, 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 da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da, da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I guess we're done.
Woo! I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have great lyrics. Great lyrics. They're really, the flow is gorgeous. The rhyming is like just on point. It's not too rhymey, but it fits so well. It's just like perfect. Love it.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. It took a long time to, get used to writing like in a certain way, because poetry, like in songs, like you can try to do a poem in a song, but you're always gonna have to do a little bit of editing.
Yeah.
And so at first I didn't edit my songs at all.
Yeah.
And it was just like I say exactly how I wrote the poem, and it didn't fit right.
Yeah.
And so like that was a whole nother ball game of something else I had to learn completely.
Making them fit together the way that you were imagining. Yeah,
Yes.
Definitely. That's an art form in and of itself, especially if you're doing them separately and then you're trying to meld them together. Totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are really good. Where can we find you online? What's your Instagram handle? Where's your YouTube at? Plug
you can
yourself.
Find me on Instagram at TAINA_RENTAS, Taina Rentas. Also on YouTube, you can find me at Taina Rentas as well. Facebook, same thing, all over the place. But yeah, on my YouTube channel, not only do I have my own songs as well as videos, I also have covers. I do something called Tea Tuesdays, where I try to do every Tuesday. Sometimes I forget, but Tea Tuesdays, I do karaoke song every Tuesday. And if you have a specific song that you would like to hear me to sing, you can comment it below, and I'll do my best to do it. I love all different genres, like I said before.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to do anything. I just love singing.
Yeah.
And love making people happy and, having them relate.
Yeah. You
letting
can
them
tell.
know there's
I can
somebody.
tell in your smile that you're like really passionate about
I love
music.
it.
So,
I
and you
love
guys sound great together.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So.
And onebroadway.org is where you can find Taina this Friday. So I think this is going to air tomorrow on Thursday night. But on Friday night, we're going to have Songwriters in the Round with Taina and myself, but backing her up. And then we have Tara Greenblatt and Mason Noel.
Okay.
So we do a Songwriters in the Round with 3 songwriters going every other song.
Yep.
So you can check that out at onebroadway.org. That's ONEBroadway.org.
I'm like, do-do-do-do.
I like this.
Doing it this whole time.